Hey guys, how you all doing? So today we're going to be building a knife making clamp. This is the build I've got going on at the moment. You might have been following my series so far. This is the El Chapo. Now this is a partial tang. The clamp will also work for 3 tangs as well. And basically what it's going to do is a very simple piece of kit. Quite likely build it from scraps you got lying around. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to clamp the blade lengthwise so that it seats properly when it's in glue up. Now this doesn't need it. This made it so that the pins actually anchor the tang into the handle, so this doesn't move. So this doesn't really need this kind of clamp. That said, I've also been doing this long enough to know that you just don't leave anything to chance. So yeah, let's come along and let's get cracking. Right, it's basically what we're looking at. Got some M8 all threads. So you'll have to excuse me, I'm balls deep in the middle of that build right now, so I've got everything I need for that sitting around. So I'm going to tidy up the whole workshop for this little thing, but it is part of the build, so I thought I'd document it and show you what's up with that as well. So I've got some kiln dried oak here, although for how long it's been sitting here it's not kiln dried anymore. Now I've already cut it down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to face these off, get these looking pretty, and at the same time try and keep it as parallel as possible, because any major variation in your parallelness can knock the clamp off kilter. Alright, so that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to face these up, get these looking pretty. Right, so there's the oak all faced up, parallel, give it a little chamfer, job done. Now we're going to mark off the bolt holes, which is fairly straightforward. We'll bring them into about there. Get shot on my pencil. There's a knife when you need one. Oh yeah, in my pocket. I'm going to get these in the vise. That's why I've only marked one. I'm going to clamp them together. I'm going to drill straight through. No messing, no muss, no fuss with a 10mm bit. Alright, job done. So, if I'm using 8mm rod, why not use an 8mm bit? Or for a start, wood shrinks around a bit. So you use an 8mm and that's going to be tight as all balls. So I go at the opposite end of the scale. I've got 8 mils, I've got 8.5s, I've got 9s. But this way, doesn't matter, okay? There's no catching, there's no nothing. All right? I'm a kind of fast-paced kind of guy, unless I'm not. And I don't want things catching or possibly knocking things off just because this is too tight here. That way with a little bit of slack, it feels free to move about and you can adjust it as you like without worrying that it's going to pull it one way or the other. So right, what we're going to do now, we're going to get that angle grinder out. We're going to cut this down. Now the blade I've already measured is about 12 inches from tip to butt. So I'm going to want about that much. I'm going to have some hanging out the bottom, you'll see why for later. And then we're going to have 12 inches on top of that. And then we're going to have a little bit more there. Let's move that back down so you can see. About 12 inches there. A little bit more there. And then of course I want to make it future proof. So if I do longer knives in future, I want to add a few inches on top of that as well. So this here is 1 meter. So if I cut this at 500 a piece, and that uses not only all the materials but gives me any future options for longer blades. Now obviously I'm rattling through this a little bit quick, I've got lots to do, but it really is a very simple project and requires the minimum amount of precision, if you like. So let's cut this in half. I was going to swap the camera around and clamp it in the vise and do all kinds of stuff like that, but I'll leave you where you are and just nip it off here. Okay, right, here we go. Now we want to mark off the center of this, and I am going to mill out a little section here all the way through. Yeah, so it's a classic lapping plate we've seen so much of last couple of weeks. Right, now the reason for the relief might be obvious. I'm going to tell you anyway. It's for the tip of the blade, because obviously when you're clamping it, you don't want the tip of the blade digging in the wood. And also when you're doing stacked handles, you can use this for securing each section if you're doing different sections. And then all you want to do there is, if you've got a through tang, is mill another slot. You don't have to mill it, obviously. You can chain drill it and then file it or rasp it out or whatever. You don't need a mill to do this. Like I say, it's so simple. But yeah, if you're using a through tang and you've got the bottom of the tang sticking out before you peen it, you can mill another one of these in the bottom section, and of course that will stick through there. Now obviously when you're gluing stuff together, you want to use some kind of resist to stop the epoxy sticking to this, or you're just going to have a knife sticking off a bit of wood. I'll be using silicone impregnated baking powder. Baking paper. Nothing sticks to that. Epoxy, super glue, nothing sticks to that. So I'll be lining that with that first. Any drippage down will land on that and stop it sticking to the wood. So let's assemble this and I'll show you what's up. Okay, now obviously you can see what we got there now. It's starting to take shape. Then that just pops down there. Very easy. And you slap your wing nuts on the top. Now I won't be putting the El Chapo in here yet, but I do have a CRF one just so I can give you a little show and tell what it's going to look like. That sits on the bottom there. And clamp it down. And there we have it. Very simple, nice and easy. Now the reason I've left these along at the bottom is basically so you can just slap it in your clamp when it's done and leave it to cure. Little added touch to make life easier. Hope you guys found that useful. Anybody that's doing hidden tangs, partial tangs, that's what you want. Now this, like I say, is for all intents and purposes finished, but I'm going to take these out and I'm going to drop them in some oil just because that's what I like to do. Hope you enjoyed the vid, guys, and I will see you all in the next vid. Peace.